Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, the Housecoat Gamer. Today we are taking a look at the Ambassador-class support cruiser, a vessel that forged an alliance between the Federation and the Klingon Empire, due to the noble sacrifice of the starship Enterprise C. Of course, we first see the Enterprise C in yesterday's Enterprise, an alternate timeline episode that is a fan favorite, and that confuses the hell out of my friends. Seriously, how am I the only one that doesn't get a headache from temporal mechanics? My ability to comprehend paradoxes aside, this is not actually the original version of the Ambassador. The Ambassador first appeared as an somewhat abstract wall hanging in Season 1 through 3 of TNG, hanging on a wall with other vessels named Enterprise, the Constitution, the Excelsior, the Galaxy, and of course CVN-65, which, as of this recording, has been decommissioned, and is presumably on its way to the scrapyard. I don't know. I haven't seen the news reports on that. But Probert's design just... At least I think it was Probert. There are so many people working on Star Trek that it gets really confusing who did what. Anyway, this design was just too complex for the model builders to build on a quick basis. The geometry was too complex. It needed to be simplified. Thus, the Enterprise C we all know and love, or at least are familiar with. Let's see if I can recreate that. That'll do. They had to redesign it somewhat, and they did a pretty good job getting the general shape of the Galaxy class to work with elements of the Excelsior, to make it look older, but newer than the Excelsior. Of course, as you all know, the Narendra was introduced into the series, basically as... In fact, I believe Mr. Probert was given credit for designing the original one, but it being too advanced for its own good. So much so that, in STO terms, it had to be shelved for nearly a century before, yeah, the technology has finally caught up. Now we can build this thing. The Ambassador lives on, and this one looks more like the original, and it takes elements of, well, there's the Galaxy Impulse Unit right there. There's the Excelsior Impulse Unit, miniaturized, of course. Now let's kit bash this thing a little bit. Make it look good. Of course, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one way to make this ship look good. Narendra saucer, Narendra neck, Narendra nacelles, Narendra pylons, and of course the hull of the Ambassador. Looks like a bit of a hot mess, but it'll do. Anyway, K7. I will see you there. You may be seeing a theme here, with me using K7. Think of my ways dealing with the pain of STD existing. As you might guess, this is not a tactically focused ship, despite my tactical officer getting in that slot for some reason. And as you may have noticed, we are on the Jem'Hadar. I've run out of Jem'Hadar ships. -1, which I will feature when I am done with the Dominion, with the Starfleet ships. You will see that when you see that. Anyway, this is very much a support vessel. As you can see, it's designed to help ships rather than kill ships. There is a fleet variant, of course. I believe it has a 4th science console. In fact, there are 2 fleet variants. I'm referring to the Tier 6, of course. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a good ship. It's good, but not a DPS giant. I'm sure somebody in the comments is going to go, it can be a DPS giant when given these consoles and this set and that set and everything under the sun. But remember, for the most part, I build ships on a budget. So I can't afford to get fleet equipment or reputation sets at the drop of a hat. Or upgrade them, for that matter. I have to make do with account-wide equipment. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a support vessel. You can weaken people with temporal nonsense. You can support your friends, but it is not a DPS giant. It might have the potential for some people, but I have never been able to get it that far. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.